Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and in today's video I will be going over the new 4K Ultra HD pre-orders and announcements for September 8th, 2023. Now keep in mind release dates and technical specs are subject to change. If there are any changes or additional retailer exclusives, I will update them in a future video. Also, be sure to check out my prior 4K pre-order videos for titles you may be looking for and were not covered here. Direct Amazon links to the titles listed in this video when they are live can be found on the channel's community page. Well, I guess this is a case of better late than never, as on October 3rd, you'll be able to pick up the Best Buy exclusive Steelbook edition of Evil Dead Rise. If you recall, this was available internationally. It is now coming here to the States, and you can only pick it up from that retailer. Pre-orders are now currently live. Well, this was a little bit of interesting news that dropped during the week, as Paramount looks to be getting into the collection game, and the Paramount Scares Collection Volume 1 will be made available. The release date for this is October 24th, and it will have 5 movies included in this set. The 5 films are Crawl, Smile, Pet Sematary, Rosemary's Baby, and an as of yet unnamed film. So a lot of people anticipate that this 5th movie is going to be exclusive to the sets and not available individually. The titles included will have their own slipcover, so you can stack them anyway inside your personal collection, and it won't be the same art as the individual releases. So let me know in the comments if this is going to be something you'll be adding to your own personal collection. Continuing with their Universal Essentials collection, Animal House is scheduled for release on October 31st. It will have the same transfer and tech specs as the prior individual, which is HDR and DTS audio. And also on the same day, Schindler's List is getting the Essentials collection treatment, and it will also have the same transfer from the prior release. I know a lot of people have been anticipating this 4K for quite some time, and on November 7th, Fargo is getting a release from Shout Factory. It will reportedly support HDR and Dolby Vision and DTS audio. As we talked about in a previous 4K video, I think last week as a matter of fact, Sony will have Rudy arriving on a non-exclusive Steelbook edition. That date is now confirmed to be November 14th. Per the press release, it will support HDR, Dolby Vision, and new Dolby Atmos audio mix. If anybody owns the Blu-ray, you know it's kind of dated, so I'll be very interested to see how the transfer is now done on the 4K. Also, another classic scheduled for release on November 14th, Paramount, as part of their Paramount Presents line, will have Terms of Endearment on 4K. It will support HDR, Dolby Vision. Now, while we don't have confirmation on the audio, I can't see them giving this one an Atmos treatment, so I'm pretty comfortable listing this one as DTS 5.1. Once again, the release date will be November 14th. Another Shout Factory Screen Factory release coming out in November, as on the 21st, Silver Bullet will be making its debut on 4K. HDR and Dolby Vision are expected in DTS 5.1. Believe it or not, it has been maybe about 20 years since I've seen this one, so I'll be really interested in revisiting it now on 4K. It looks like Paramount has made official the release date for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem on 4K, and that date will be November 21st. Just as a reminder, it comes in a standard slip and a non-exclusive Steelbook, both currently up for pre-order. It looks like in addition to Monster Squad, Stalag 17 is getting a 4K release from Kino Lorber, and that date will be November 21st. Paramount announced that on November 28th, The Naked Gun will be making its debut on physical 4K. It will support HDR and Dolby Vision and DTS audio. Now, as of right now, it only looks to be available as a Steelbook, but a standard edition very well could be released down the line. Shout Factory has another 4K coming out in the month of November, as the remake Death Wish starring Bruce Willis will be coming out on the 28th. It will support HDR and Dolby Vision for the grading. Now, as for the audio, I am not sure about this one. It could very well just go 5.1, or they could surprise us with an Atmos mix. Shout Factory tends to release their spec list a little bit closer to release date, so stay tuned and I'll update that with new information as it becomes available. This is a bit of a welcome announcement, as on November 28th, The Sandman Season 1 is scheduled for a 4K release. Now, this will support HDR and Dolby Atmos audio, and it is a mod title, so chances are you're not going to be able to pick this one up in stores, and it probably will not include some kind of slipcover. But for fans of the show, you'll be able to own a physical copy at the end of November. I know a lot of people were asking if Best Buy was going to come out with a Steelbook edition of Gran Turismo. Well, you're in luck, because it in fact will be made available on release day. It is currently up for pre-order over at Best Buy's website, as is the Steelbook edition of The Equalizer 3. Both don't have release dates as of right now, but I anticipate that to come sometime before Christmas, so head on over to Best Buy to pre-order your copies now. Kino Lorber announced this week that Play Misty for Me, starring Clint Eastwood, is scheduled for a 4K release. We don't have an actual date yet, but I anticipate this one to happen a little bit sooner rather than later, mostly because they have the actual cover art here, but you never know with Kino Lorber. It could show up in 3 months or a year plus down the line. So stay tuned to the channel for a more concrete release date. If you remember in last week's video, there were quite a few Sony titles getting the 4K re-release treatment, this time with Dolby Vision, and we can add another release to that list as A Few Good Men, this time with Dolby Vision, is anticipated before the end of the year. There are a few international 4K pre-orders and announcements to go over in this week's video, and just as a reminder, most 4K discs are region-free. Coming out in just a few short weeks, it looks like in Italy, Repito is scheduled to release on 4K. The release date will be September 20th. It will support HDR, Dolby Vision, and DTS audio. Over in the UK, Criterion will be releasing the 4K of One False Move. Just like the US release, it will support HDR, Dolby Vision, and DTS audio. On November 27th, The Last Picture Show from the Criterion Collection will be making its way on 4K. Also, just as the US release, HDR and Dolby Vision will be supported, and DTS audio. So those are the 4K pre-orders and announcements for September 8th, 2023. Don't forget to use the Amazon affiliate links in the community page tab if you're interested in any of those titles. It really does help out the channel when you do. Also, be sure to let me know what titles I talked about in this video you're planning to pick up for yourself. And finally, a special thank you to my Patreons for your continued support. It is very much appreciated. If you would like to support me through Patreon, I will leave a link in the description of this video. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.